So I thought I'd already made an intro for this. Buried deep inside the garage is this bike. Okay, so this is a bike I picked up, I don't know, last year sometime. I only got it for a tenner, complete bike. Had a hang on. So I got it for a tenner. It's a complete bike. The guy wasn't sure what it was, but when I got it and looked over it, I saw that it had a B.S.A head badge, which is now off there. And apart from that, there wasn't any other markings on, because someone has painted the frame by hand, or by brush even. So it's a pretty horrible frame at the moment. I thought I'd just be able to scrape the paint off and reveal what bike it was, but they've actually done a pretty good job of prepping it, because right under there is bare metal. However, saying that, they did do a terrible job of prepping it, because they didn't take the bike apart, and on the steerer tube there is the original red paint, and under the painted over head badge is the original blue paint. So what the bike turned out to be was a B.S.A Bermuda. It would have originally been this red paint with blue head tube and blue detailing on seat tube. It's a 3-speed Sturmy Archer town bike. I've got the wheel set as well to refurbish and put on, but I'm actually going to take this down to the powder coaters to get it powder coated, so I can get it and sell it. I think it should be a 60s bike. Oh, I'm running out of battery. I think it should be a 60s bike, judging by the non-focusable. Oh, why won't it focus? So I believe this bike should be a 1960s, judging by the serial number there and the pictures that I found on Google. Oh, I can zoom in even more. But I'm not actually going to stick to the original colour scheme on this. I don't think so anyway. I'll check them out when I get to the powder coaters, see what colour scheme I'm going to choose. These are replacement mudguards that I've managed to pick up, so I just need to get those off. What are they off originally? They are off a Hercules originally, but strangely that's the right colour that they should be. So I just need to see if I can get this chrome trim off here. Don't know how I'm going to do that, and then I can take it down to the powder coaters and see what they can do with it. Back from the powder coaters, I've got the frame ready to show you, but in there are all the components. That's a bath of oxalic acid. What it does is just strips off the rust from the chrome. Okay, so this should have stripped off, oh god, it's quite deep, all the rust from the chrome. So these calipers were quite rusty before. This is just a soft brush I'm using. I might have left them in a bit too long, because they've got, if you leave them in too long, they start to form a yellow residue over everything. Here's the brass brush as well. Okay, parts out the oxalic acid now. So what I want to do is just try and get all the, I need to wash them really. So for now I'll choose some WD-40, just spray them and wipe them down, I've got oxalic acid all over this glove. And then I might take them inside and just give them a rinse. Yeah, okay. Oh, after I've done this as well, I'll take them to work and polish them up. Where's me WD-40? Before I lose all the light, I have... Oh, let's take the camera off the stand. So before I lose all the light, I've cleaned all the parts up. Now, you can see this chain ring. I mean, it used to have spots of rust over it. Now, no, it's just got like the pinpricks, but most of it's clean. This trigger shifter, it used to have rust all over the clamp and all over the lever, but now it's clean. Seat post was actually fairly good. You can see at the top there, it's just got a few bits of the remnants. Calipers are cleaned up nicely, and the handlebars, they're nice and clean as well. Brake levers are slightly discoloured, but I'm gonna put everything through the polisher that I've got at work, and hopefully that will bring some more back to life. For now, I'll just coat them in some WD-40 to protect them, and then I'll go inside and show you the frame as it stands. A bit later on, and back from the powder coaters, the bike is looking beautiful. I took a bit of what would you say, creative license. Took a bit of creative license with the bike. It should have been a flamboyant red with some blue detailing, but the powder coaters couldn't get that. I'd have to spray that, and I just fancied this red that they could offer. What's it called? I think it's called Carmen Red, or Signal Red, I can't remember which. But anyway, it's the darkest red they did. They've got a really good coverage on it. The only imperfection really is there's a bulge on top there, which is a bit annoying, but hey ho. Yeah, they've done a really good job on it. I've put the crown back on, the forks, cleaned that up nicely, put the headset back on already. I've fitted a new badge because the old one was covered in yellow paint and couldn't be cleaned off, and I've decided to put a slightly more modern B.S.A. decal or transfer, whatever you want to call it, on the seat tube, and there's one on the doohickey chain guard over there. I've also just put on this Made in England sticker, which you probably won't be able to see because it's so dark in here, but there's that one on. But to go with that, next stage, seeing as that's gold, next stage I'm going to try some lug lining. So around all these lugs, I'm going to try and line them in gold to give it a bit of a fancier appearance. Don't know if it'll work, but I'm willing to give it a go. Oh, and also while I'm here, I had a lot of, well, I wouldn't say fun, but I spent a lot of time polishing up all the chrome. So you can see this seat tube is Oh, look at my little husky in the background there. My seat tube is very shiny now, which it won't focus on. I've done all the calipers, done the brakes. The brakes have cleaned up really nice. Oh, this camera will not focus. There we go. So the brakes cleaned up really nicely. I'm really happy with them. Polished the bars, polished the shifter, the chain set, the calipers. I've just got a couple of small things to. So yeah, everything's. Once I've done the lug lining, I've got all the cables and stuff to go on. Got all the parts cleaned, so I can get it all assembled. Hopefully soon, and it will be a beautiful bike. What I'm going to try and do now is line these lugs, and on the underneath the seat post and on the head tube as well. I've got this lug lining pen, so I'm going to try this out. I've done 2 samples on forks and found that I needed to thin the paint down to get it to run better. But apart from that, I've never done it before, so this is. It might go on, it might not. So, which side do we need to use? I don't know. Where is it? That side? Okay, first kind of attempt at lug lining. I think it's quite successful. There goes the bike. So yeah, we have the lugs there. There's a bit of a technique to it seems. You have to keep steady, obviously, keep a good flow going, but I think they look alright. They're saying in the bottom bracket, so it's just got standard circular, but they came out alright, so I'm going to do the rest of the bike and see how it goes. But before I go putting these wheels back on the bike, well, after it's been properly done, there's a couple of repairs I need to make. The front wheel had 1 snap spoke, so I've just gone into my box of spares and replaced that. The rear wheel, is that in? Yep, the rear wheel has got 2 snap spokes that I can see. Tensions are not too bad. So there's kind of weak tension in some of the spokes, so I'm gonna try and find some replacements for these and replace them, but I'm also gonna true up the front wheel because that is really weak in the spokes. So yeah, next step. Oh, okay, so what feels like an eternity later, I've got the rear wheel done. I've trued it all up in my truing stand. I've cleaned the rim with some tin foil and water. I've gone round all the spokes with some wire wool and cleaned them all off. And I've cleaned all around the hub and everything. So if I haven't said before, the date on the hub is 1969. So I was thinking early 60s, but I mean the hub says 69, so I guess it's then. Front wheel to do now, and then I will get everything together and put it on the bike. I did put these tyres on, which were the original tyres it came with. but as I pumped them up, it started to show cracks in them, which weren't on them before. So I've ordered some new tyres, and they will be on when they go on the bike. So when it comes to the front wheel, it's by far the worst out of the two. I've already set the distance from, well, on my truing stand. So from here to here, I've measured it, halved it, take away that, blah, blah, blah. You get what I mean. So I've set the distance, that's what it needs to be, and you can see, how far it's out now. But when you spin the rim, you can see how much it moves over and starts dragging on and then moves back. So there's a lot of work to do on that rim, and then I've got to clean it up, grease it up, and fit the new tyres. So this is a problem with old spokes, they're seized into their place. So there is it. They don't turn at all. Oh no, that's right. No, they don't turn, or they decide they want to round off. So we're going to tighten this one a quarter turn. Just dragging slightly, so we'll tighten this one. Okay, see, there we go. That's one way to sort out the spokes. If they're seized, snap them. Luckily I have lots of spares. Okay, a bit of progress. I had to Dremel a few spokes off, but apart from something being really rattly, as you can hear, it is now spinning straight. So I'm going to find out what that rattle is, and clean up the rim. But yep, spinning straight now. A few spokes replaced, but we're all good to carry on. I don't know where I left this off, but I'm beyond happy with how the bike looks at the moment. Had it back from the powder coaters, everything's polished. I've done some lug lining on all the lugs there, and I've also extended it onto the mud guards, so I've run the line all the way around just to give it a bit of extra detailing, and it looks amazing. So what I'm going to do now is just put all the grease in, put all the bearings in, and get it together as much as possible, because I'm still waiting for the tyres to turn up, and then I'll have one beautifully finished bike. next up on things to do, I'm just going to fit these mudguards properly. I've got some stainless bolts that I'm going to use for the anchor points on the frame and for the connection at the back there. And then I will grease up the wheel bearings, temporarily fit the wheels and adjust the Sturmy Archer. And then it will be done until until the new tyres arrive. It will be done then, so hopefully by Monday it will be complete. So this rear hub on this B.S.A is really confusing me at the moment. I've not worked on a rear dyno hub before. When it comes to dyno hub as well, the bearing is hidden inside that unit somewhere. I've greased up all this side, but it's still running really rough. Like it won't do a full revolution. So I think I'm going to have to take apart this sort of magnetic compartment where the dynamo sits and maybe find the bearing in there. Hopefully it's in one piece. But yeah, we're going to have a bit of a, well, I'm going to have a explore with that because I've never worked on it before, so wish me luck. Okay, no idea if I've done this right, but here it is, if it gets in focus for once. That's the inside of the hub. You have the bearing which sits in the middle, which I've taken out. All this is for the magnet, and over here are all the parts. So you got obviously the bearing race that sits in there, the cup that holds it in, and then on top you've got the inner part of the magnet with the terminals on, and the outer part, both of which are horribly dirty, so I'm going to clean them up, put the bearings back in first after a bit of grease, spin the wheel, see if it actually turns. If it does, put the magnets back in. We're all cleaned up in there now. Cleaned all the bearings out, greased them up. But what I found is when I tightened it up, I actually bottomed out on the feds on this side. So I had to flip the hub over, wind the other side out a little bit, so I could wind the other side in a little bit, so then I could actually adjust it on this side so it was tight enough. And now there's no play and it spins freely, so that seems good. So I'm going to clean the magnet up now and put it back in, and hopefully we'll all be good. Well, that was an experience, but it's on now. Hub's all clean, greased up and on. Spins nicely. So what I'm going to do now is put the cable on for the Sturmy Archer, put all the chain guard that I've got, put the chain on as well of course, and then just adjust this mudguard because I haven't cut the bolts down yet. Whoa, it's not even in focus. Yeah, I haven't cut the bolts down yet for that, so I'll do that and then the bike should be done. Whee! First finished preview. There it is. Still on the old tyres for the time being. I need to wait till they turn up before I do a proper kind of montage, but that's the finished bike there. That's what she had. Started life completely yellow, just painted with a brush. It's been powder coated this deep red. I've lined all the mudguards gold, lined all the lugs gold, cleaned up all the chrome parts, like stripped all the old paint off that was on them, oxalic acid and polished them, replaced the crank set because it had a mismatching one, added a new pump, replaced the saddle. Actually I had to buy the mudguards because it didn't come with mudguards, I had to buy them. But apart from that, Oh, and I've like stripped down obviously all the wheels, trued them because they were missing spokes, done the bearings front and rear, and the polishing is just the thing that took ages. But montage time in 3, 2, 1. Whoop. So here she is, the finished bike. Apologies about the ticking in the background, but you know, it's just work. Yeah, finished. Happy with how it came out. It looks beautiful now. I'm definitely happy that I chose the amber sidewall tyres because I think it really sets it off against the gold lugs, against the yellow of the head badge. It works perfectly. I'm trying not to get too far away because I'm gonna go quiet. But yeah, super happy with it. I hope you liked the build of the bike, the video, the sort of diary that I put together of it. To recap, it's a 1969 B.S.A. Bermuda. It's obviously not in the original paintwork. I decided to change that and go for a solid red with a gold lug lining. I've put the accessories back to as normal as I could get it. It originally came with without mudguards and with a Brooks saddle that was all twisted up and deformed and rotten, and it came with mismatching cranks and broken spokes, and well, it was a mess. And the main thing was it came painted brushed yellow, so I'm glad that's gone now. But it's quite a transformation. I really like it. There's plenty more to do. I've got plenty more projects coming up. I think next on the list is going to be a barn find that I have stripped down and cleaned up, and it's pretty much mint condition, almost. I've also got a cyclocross bike that I've built for under £250, and I've got a B.S.A. Premier 12. It's an 80s, 1980 I think it is. So that's a road bike that I've recently finished. So they're the next videos that are coming up. If you liked this video and you are interested in seeing the others, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up and comment down below also if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you in the next one.